Welcome back to the Magic Room, and blessings. We've returned to this place to continue our study into the imagery and symbolism of the Rider-Waite Tarot, one card at a time. Today, we'll be looking at a card that has been known to induce anguish amongst people who do have some experience with the tarot. Numbered at 16 in the major arcana, we find ourselves in the company of the Tower. Once more, we'll begin with Waite's own brief divinations. These are misery, distress, indigence, adversity, calamity, disgrace, deception, and ruin. In earlier decks, the card was sometimes known as La Foudre, meaning the lightning, and would often depict a tree being struck by a bolt and set on fire. The card in the Tarot of Marseille does depict an actual tower, and is a more direct influence on the modern tarot. The Rider-Waite card shows us a similar image of a tower on fire, with people tumbling from it. The flames surrounding the card are said to resemble the Hebrew letter Yud from the Tetragrammaton. Waite himself says that there is more in favour of the claim that it signifies the materialization of the spiritual letter. It is a significant symbol in mysticism, with two concurrent Yuds forming the god name Adonai, a Hebrew name for God that is mentioned in the Tanakh over 400 times. The tower is sometimes said to represent the Tower of Babel, the structure mentioned in the Bible that the human race tried to build tall enough to reach heaven itself. It is believed that God sent a great wind to topple the tower and scattered the people across the earth, changing their languages so that they could no longer understand each other. In the book of Genesis, the word Babel is attributed to the verb balal, meaning to confuse or confound, tying into the notion that this is a card of chaos and turbulence. Waite says that it illustrates also in the most comprehensive way the old truth that, unless the Lord build the house, they labour in vain that build it. The card has also been connected to the harrowing of hell, the story of Christ descending into the underworld between the time of the crucifixion and the resurrection. The tower can easily be seen to represent great adversity and misfortune, but once again, that only gives us part of the story. According to Waite, occult explanations attached to this card are meagre and mostly disconcerting. It is idle to indicate that it depicts ruin in all its aspects, because this is self-evident. Often our interpretation of catastrophe changes with hindsight. Sometimes what we thought of as a calamity at the time can be looked back upon as a necessary upheaval that allowed us to move on in our lives. A brief reading of the card reversed can be found in Waite's Key to the Tarot: oppression, imprisonment, and tyranny. Waite also points out that sometimes the card is read as it would be read upright, but to a lesser degree. The card is the 15th to be met by the Fool along his journey, and is thought to be the time when aspects of his reality come crashing down. Having been influenced by the devil in the previous card, the Fool reaches a point where he can no longer go on as he is, and a fundamental change must happen if he is to ascend, with Waite saying, "It is the ruin of the house of life when evil has prevailed in it." Many see the appearance of the tower as a warning to be prepared for a bumpy road ahead, but it's worth noting that if we're aware the tower is about to catch fire, we have the chance to escape. Certainly, the themes of disaster and collapse are abundantly clear in this, the card numbered at 16 in the tarot deck. Thank you so much for joining us in the Magic Room. May the coming days bring you vigilance, strategy, and liberation. Until next time.